Step away from the truck now, or you're under arrest. The deputy's voice cut through the humid Tennessee air, his hand twitching near his holster. I froze, my fingers clutching the old cedar chest my granddad left me. The U-Haul behind me was half unloaded, boxes stacked haphazardly on the gravel drive. My dog, Rusty, was losing his mind in the cab, barking like he sensed the storm brewing. Sweat beaded on my forehead under the July sun. Across the lot stood Linda Hensley, her auburn hair scraped into a severe bun, a VY aders glinting, phone pressed to her ear. "She's stealing," she shrieked, though the cops were already here. "She doesn't belong here. I know every soul in this neighborhood, and she's not one of them. My name's Emily Harper, and that sprawling farmhouse on 12 acres of rolling Cumberland County hills? It was mine, bought, paid for, deed in my name, ink still fresh from the closing last week." But try telling that to Linda, who stood there smirking like she'd just unmasked a con artist on live TV. I stammered, "Officer, I own this place. I've got papers." The deputy, eyes hard, barked, "Put the chest down. ID now." My hands shook as I reached for my wallet. Then it got worse. Rusty, sensing the chaos, nudged the truck window open and bolted toward me. "Loose dog," the second deputy yelled. Guns cleared holsters. My heart stopped. This wasn't just a misunderstanding, Anna Maria, it was a nightmare spiraling out of control. Let me rewind. I'm a trauma nurse, spent a decade in Nashville grinding through night shifts, dodging ambulances, and dreaming of a quieter life. City chaos, honking horns, packed ERs, rent hikes wore me down. I craved open fields, starry nights, the hum of crickets over car alarms. One rainy Thursday, scrolling real estate listings, I found it. A weathered farmhouse in Pine Hollow Acres, an hour from the nearest hospital. White clapboard, sagging porch, a barn begging for a paint job, but it had heart. I drove out that weekend, pulling into the gravel drive of what would soon be mine. Pine Hollow was peculiar. Not haunted, but cliquey. Neighbors waved, but their eyes lingered, sizing you up. A sign at the entrance read, "Pine Hollow Acres HOA, tradition since 1987. Red flag number 1. As I stepped out, I spotted Linda, didn't know her name, then clipping azaleas in her pristine yard. Mid-50s, sharp cheekbones, hair so taut it looked painful. She squinted at me like I'd tracked mud on her porch. "Can I help you?" she called, voice dripping suspicion. "Hi, I'm Emily. Just checking out the property." Her lips thinned. "No open house today." I forced a smile. "Private showing. My realtor's Tom from Hilltop Realty." She nodded, unconvinced said, and I brushed it off. Small towns, right? The house was rough, creaky stairs, chipped paint, a faint musty smell, but it felt like home. I made an offer the next day, closed 3 weeks later, and celebrated with my sister, my best friend, Ellie, and a tiny cowboy hat for Rusty. Move-in day, I rolled up at dawn, U-Haul groaning, coffee in hand, Rusty riding shotgun. Linda was already there, arms crossed, watching like a hawk. I waved. She didn't. Fine. I had boxes to unload, Granddad's phonograph, my nursing journals, that cedar chest. By my second trip, she was at my property line, phone out, glaring. Then I heard her. "Yes, officer, there's a theft in progress. She's emptying the house." "No, she doesn't live here." My stomach dropped. "Hey," I shouted. "I own this place." She ignored me, kept talking. "Big dog, too. Looks dangerous." 10 minutes later, 2 sheriff's cruisers roared up, kicking dust. Deputies stormed out, hands on guns. Linda filmed, smirking. Rusty barked. My hands trembled, but I handed over my ID. The lead deputy, Calhoun, checked it, then stepped away as his radio crackled. Linda's smugness faltered when Tom, my realtor, screeched into the drive, "Ty Askew. She owns it," he panted, Wav wine closing papers. "Everything's legit." Linda scoffed. "This is a scam. I told the HOA last week squatters are targeting empty houses." Tom snapped. "Linda, you're not on the HOA anymore. You were voted out after the Wilson incident." Her face twisted. "That was never proven." Calhoun cut in. "Enough. Papers check out. Ms. Harper, you're clear." Linda stormed off, heels grinding gravel. I should have felt relief, but I felt eyes on Meher, eyes from her window, always watching. The next morning, a neighbor, Clara, knocked. Gray curls, denim overalls, she handed me blueberry muffins. "Don't let Linda scare you," she said. "She's done this before, called cops on 4 newcomers in 3 years. HOA kicked her out after she poisoned someone's herb garden for noncompliance." My jaw dropped. She's still here. Clara shrugged. Some folks don't quit. Her kindness steadied me. I planted daisies, fixed the porch swing, let Rusty chase fireflies. But a week later, an envelope appeared in my mailbox, no stamp, just a typed HOA notice, violation of Landscaping Code 12.1c. Front gardens must have gravel borders. Remove unapproved plants within 72 hours or face fines. In red ink, consider this a warning. My daisies. Clara had admired them yesterday. I knew who sent it. Fury replaced fear. I checked the HOA board by the entrance. President, Mark Tanner. No Linda Hensley. I emailed Mark, attaching the notice. His reply was swift, not from us. Code 12.1c was repealed in 2020. Report any further fakes. I bought security cameras. Porch, barn, road. 3 nights later, at 2:43 a.m., they caught her, Linda, in sweats, stomping my flower bed, pausing to glare at the house. I sent the footage to Mark and Sheriff Calhoun. Mark called. This isn't Pine Hollow's way. Emergency HOA meeting Saturday. Be there. I agreed, but dread gnawed at me. Linda wasn't just petty, she was dangerous. Saturday's meeting, in Pine Hollow's community center, was tense. Folding chairs, stale coffee, whispers as I walked in. Linda sat up front, poised in a mint blazer, like she was at a charity gala. Mark projected my camera stills. Gasps echoed. Linda, he said, explain yourself. She stood, smiling, and dropped a bombshell. I have a legal claim on that farmhouse's land. Silence. My throat tightened. Filed last week, she continued, sliding a folder to Mark. My great-aunt co-owned that plot before Pine Hollow was zoned. The barn, the backfield, it's mine. Clara shot up. That house sat empty for years. It was foreclosed, relist, sold. I added, Tom ran the title. It's clean. Linda smirked. The courthouse will decide. Chaos erupted. Mark slammed his gavel. This claim's unverified. Tonight, we vote on banning Linda for harassment. For votes yes, 1 abstained. She was out, but her parting glance promised war. That night, a glow flickered behind my barn. Heart racing, I grabbed my phone and pepper spray, Rusty at my heels. The gate padlock was ajar. Inside the barn, a cardboard sign hung on a nail, red paint dripping. Leave, or we burn it. I called Calhoun. He filed a report, urged more cameras. 2 days later, I found tire tracks by the creek, a gas can half buried in mud, reeking of fuel. I snapped photos, called Calhoun. Arson prep, he said grimly. Stay somewhere else. No, I snapped. This is my home. He sighed. Then be careful. 3 nights later, Rusty's barking woke me. A clink metal on glass. On the porch steps stood a man, flicking a lighter, gas can at his feet. Hey, I yelled. He froze, face pale mid-20s, scruffy beard. He dropped the lighter and sprinted. I chased, barefoot, but he vanished into the woods. Calhoun arrived with a K9 unit, took the can and lighter. He knew your cameras, he said. Studied your routine. Sleep evaded me. Linda wasn't alone. Next day, I knocked on doors. At the old Grayson place, a man answered, tall, buzz-cut, holding a mug. Hensley Land Company. Same guy from the porch. Linda's son, Nathan. New neighbor? He asked, smiling. I played along. Yeah, big place to maintain. He chuckled. Mom and I run a land business, fencing, surveys. She used to run the HOA. Rage simmered, but I smiled. Nice meeting you, Nathan. I ran home, called my lawyer, Sarah Klein, a property law shark. He's her muscle, she said. We're filing a protective order and alerting the sheriff. A real letter arrived next county zoning board, claiming my barn was unpermitted. It was a century old. Sarah laughed. They're desperate. Clara brought footage from her driveway cam. Nathan, gas can in hand, skulking by my fence. Sarah filed it with a harassment timeline. 2 days later, Calhoun arrested Nathan. Linda wailed, you're arresting the wrong people. But they cuffed him. 2 nights later, Sarah called, frantic, leave now. Linda bailed Nathan. They might try something. I grabbed Rusty, jumped in the truck. Headlights caught her Linda, by the barn, match lit, diesel-soaked rag in hand. She froze, then fled. I stomped out the smoldering rag as Calhoun's cruiser screamed in. Hands up, he shouted, then saw me. It was her. I yelled. Another deputy chased Linda into the woods. They caught her at dawn, charged her with attempted arson, trespassing, harassment. She screamed as they cuffed her. This is our land. But Pine Hollow turned its back. The HOA banned her for life. Nathan skipped town. Sarah squashed the zoning lies, secured a restraining order. I still check the cameras, keep the porch light on, but the land's mine. Clara's pies, the garden club, Rusty's badge theory home now. Linda wasn't EVYL in a cape. She was a neighbor with a vendetta, undone by proof, neighbors, guts. So, what do you think? Was I right to fight, or should I have walked away? Can a neighborhood heal after someone like Linda? Should HOAs have less power? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe, let's talk about it.